have a lifelong interest in ecologically sound use of the environment. And this is clearly one. It's not hurting the ocean. It's helping me. It's much better than fossil fuels in any way, whether it be gas or oil. And it just makes absolute sense to me to do it that way.
Well, I like the fact that their business is really involved in an environmentally friendly form of heating and cooling houses.
The beauty of the GeoExchange heat pump is that it takes the heat out of the ocean, lakes, ponds, or out of the ground outside your home, where you have an extremely stable temperature and an unlimited supply of heat. In the wintertime, we transport that energy from outside the home and dispose of it inside the house, thus heating the house. In the summertime, we take the heat out of the house, those blocks of energy, and dispose of it in the ground, in the ocean, ponds, or loops, lake loops outside of the home. You're basically paying for transportation costs of those blocks of energy alone. You're not actually paying for producing that energy. The energy is already there in the ground.
For every dollar of electricity you use, you can get $3 to $4 of heat out of the ground for nothing. So it's very efficient.
We've actually more than doubled the total square footage of our home, and our cost of heating, and we're not only heating but we're also cooling now, which we weren't before, has gone down. I would say roughly 75% less than it was. We were spending a phenomenal amount of money on heating the house with oil.
When I moved up to British Columbia, to Victoria, which was just under 3 years ago, I knew that I wanted to swim. I've lived in California for most of my adult life, about 40 years, and I developed the habit of taking a swim every morning. There was a pool in this house, so I knew that I was going to have to heat it in the winter. I did not realize how much it was going to cost to heat with oil. I tried to heat it with oil, and I found that it cost in the area of $300 to $500 a month during the autumn and winter months. I asked a lot of people up here, and I was able to find Doug Lockhart Industries, who had some experience, had some good experience with water source heat pumps using the ocean. He came, we spent a lot of time planning, or he spent a lot of time planning what he wanted to do in terms of heating and where the undersea loops would go, and then he put the system in, and it has been absolutely miraculous since then.
The basic reason was the efficiency, the saving of the money, the air conditioning along with it, and plus I can heat the pool, preheats my water to my hot water to 130 degrees, and it just makes it very, very efficient. And I can't see why everybody doesn't have it if they have the area to put it in. It's just so efficient that everybody should have it.
In this house, they have the ventilation system for maintaining humidity control and also cleanliness of air. We've heard an awful lot about IAQ, indoor air quality, of late, with some of the mold mildews build up and how they've been linked to various serious respiratory diseases. The airflow given by the water furnace system, the GeoExchange system, has the ability to clean the air, to heat the air, to cool the air. Thus, by cooling in the summertime, we have the ability to drop the relative humidity and make it more comfortable in the house. We also have the ability with that system to heat the in-floor as well. So comfort level is second to none.
I used to not live in a northern climate. I was used to a tropical climate, and of course there you can always have your windows open, so I was used to lots of fresh air. And one of the things that I found very difficult about living in a winter climate is having to keep everything closed up and the resulting kind of stale odors and so on. And now all I have to do is run the fan, which is going to clean the air for me, and within just, overnight, it smells great again in the house.
Actually, you can burn something on the stove in the kitchen, and within 2 hours, even though the house was filled with greasy smoke, within 2 hours the air is, well, it actually smells like you just had a good spring rain. It's totally cleaned out.
With a regular, let's say, electric forced air furnace, the heat fluctuates, even if it's 2 or 3 degrees. You really notice it'll go down a bit, and then the big blast of heat comes. With the geothermal heat, I can set the temperature at, say, 69 degrees, and it stays that constant. If I want it night and day, it'll stay 69 degrees. It doesn't matter if it's cold out or it doesn't change at all. You don't hear the furnace clunking and clanking and ductwork popping. It's because the temperature stays so constant, there's not much expansion in the ductwork.
I think there's even more. We also have a humidifier tied into our system. And for me, with my musical instruments, that's very important to keep the temperature and humidity really constant. And that is easily accomplished. I have a little dial over there, and I can just set it at 50% or whatever humidity I want, and I know that that'll remain constant throughout the year, and my instruments won't dry out over the winter, which is very important to their tuning.
Yeah, one of the things we really liked about dealing with Lockhart Industries is the after-sales service. They spent a lot of time designing the system, but because it's a large house, it's a new system, is that there was always a fair bit of fine-tuning afterwards. And they came back probably half a dozen times in the first couple of months, just as we found that there was little areas that we did not quite meet our expectations. They would come back, they were very quick, they'd be there that day or the next day, and they'd just do a little bit more fine-tuning. The reason why we went with the Geo system in this house is because we liked the fact that it was quiet, there's no noise. It's economical over the long run. We intend to stay in this house, so over the long period of time it will be more economical. We have a young family, which means that there's a lot of laundry, which means a lot of water usage. And this system preheats the water. And according to the statistics that Doug gave to us, is that that should have a significant economic savings to us over the long term.
In this type of a structure where we have a large, large open area, large open base, we've gone to an in-floor heating system. And it's very, very efficient. It warms up reasonably quickly in the cool temperatures, and it's the only heat source in the entire building. The system itself is extremely efficient. As far as a heating and cooling system commercially, you don't get anything that's more efficient. I think they're running around 400% efficient now, which is pretty incredible. Commercial GeoExchange units are on the rise in BC. The technology is becoming a little bit more affordable, and it is the environmentally friendly way to heat your business and cool as well.
Lockhart Industries have been with us for, I would say now, for about 2.5 years. Working with him, he's very knowledgeable as to what he does. He's always been there to point out the benefits or the disadvantages of whatever we're thinking of doing. And we've used anything from the water furnaces through to a normal air source heat pump in any of our projects. Always top quality. We've never had any complaints with any of it. And always there if we need to, for some reason, have something serviced, he's always there.
One of the main reasons that we went with the GeoExchange program is that it was cost efficient. We are a nonprofit charity organization, and not only were we having problems getting enough money to build the building, we also had to consider what it was going to cost us to maintain it and to operate for over, hopefully, the next 25 years. We're 25 years old, and we need to think about how we're going to run the next 25 years. And through all our research of oil, electricity, propane, the GeoExchange gave us the best bang for our dollar. And we're extremely happy with Doug and the GeoExchange technology, and we're very glad that we made the decision to go with Doug's product.
Lockhart Industries has been in business for well over 20 years, and one of the things that we take a great deal of pride in is the fact that since these projects are a little above the average as far as technology requirements and tradesman level requirements, we take a great deal of time, spend it with the customer, find out what the customer's needs are, and thus we form a relationship with the customer that lasts for years to come afterwards. We have a lot of fun doing it.
I'm a small business person myself, and I know that there's nothing like having an intimate relationship with your clientele to make sure that you treat them right. And so I like knowing that Doug's a friend as well as my heating and air conditioning supplier. Any time of day, night, weekend, he's been there.
The finish work was extraordinary. Every detail was done beautifully. You mean down to the way the pipes are strapped to the walls inside the heating room. Everything is just done beautifully. There is I like a job that's finished well. It's finished well.
He took everything into consideration because a lot of them come into a building, oh yeah, this will work. But when he put it in, he knew it would work. Most of them are guessing that it's going to work correctly. But he had all the figures on how much heat loss to the windows, how much sunlight would come in, and he put in a system to handle it all, and it's worked excellent. And anybody trying for it, you know, I say see Doug first, and you know, check the others, but I think you'll go with Doug.